G'day friends, it's Vickywright, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator, Australia. So welcome to our Wednesday Stamp and Create, where today we're going to be doing a technique. So just bear with me, I just got to fix this up so that I know that we're all in camera and focus. I'm just... I will get this right one day. I'll shock myself. So each Wednesday I do something different, and this week it's a technique, and we're going to be playing with the faux tiles, but in this case I call it the faux glossy tiles technique. Because we're doing a little bit of embossing. So first up, we're going to be playing with the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies, and we're going to be using this one and this image, and I think the leaf. Okay, and we're going to be playing with Night and Navy, Daffodil Delight, Ready Apple Green, and I'm not too sure about pumpkin pie. I've dug it out just in case. Okay, so to start off with, I always use my Simply Scored scoring tool. I just find that it gives a deeper impression when I score. So I'm just going to grab our kit. You can use your paper trimmer. There's nothing to say that you can't. Just remember when you do your paper trimmer to just press a little bit harder, but not too hard that it's going to go through your paper, your cardstock. Okay, so what I tend to do is I will put it on my tool, and then we're going to score. In this case, I'm doing 1/2 inch increments, okay? 1/2 inch. Maybe it should have been 1 inch. Doesn't matter, we'll do 1/2 inch. Or you can do 1 inch if you like, but we're going to do 1/2 inches. Then we're going to rotate at 90, and we're going to repeat. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should have done 1 inch. It'll look better, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes, eh? And what we're going to do is grab our foam mat and our image that we want to use, and we're going to randomly stamp this daisy in Daffodil Delight. Now when I stamp it, I don't press too hard. I just press it down and just let it sit, because you don't want the ink to go into the scored lines, okay? Oh, I should have also mentioned that the lines that are raised, I'm not stamping on, we're stamping in the ones that are indented, okay? The scored lines. So we're just going to randomly stamp our flower. As I said, I'm not pressing too hard. I'm pressing just enough to have, for our image to be pretty solid. And we'll do one more just there. And that's our Daffodil Delight. So you can see how it's looking. It's a fun technique, this. It's an easy technique, and you can do it with all sorts of images. I find with this technique, I find that solid images work better than the open images, probably because you can see more and it gives it more of an oomph. Then we're going to come in with our leaf. So it's just the single leaf, and we're going to stamp this in Green Apple Green. Okie dokie. So again, just randomly, while at the same time not stamping too hard. I'll come down this way. We'll just come up there so that it looks like there's a part of a leaf. Put that one there. Just do a couple more. And that's it. We might do, oops, we might just do one more. There. Then we're going to come in with our, I'm just going to clean this first. Sometimes I can't see the ink on the stamps because of the being photopolymer, so I tend to clean them sort of straight away if I can. Then we're going to come in with our little circle or our little middle image for our flower, that little one there, okay? And we're going to stamp this one in Night and Navy. So I'm just going to take this down a little bit so that yeah, there you go. I'm just putting it in the middle. Again, not pressing too hard. And we're going to clean this. Now, once that's done, you can actually leave it like that if you want, and do it that way. There's nothing to say that you can't leave it like that, okay? Because it looks pretty good like that. You can also get your blending brush or your sponge dauber, and you can sponge around the outside if you wanted to, and that'll give you another look. But in this instance, we're going to create a glossy look. So we're going to bring in some scrap paper, or the tray if you want, the embossing tray, but I just use scrap paper. And then we're going to bring in our Versamark, and we're just going to dab this over the top. Okay, just so that you know that it's well and truly covered. Once that's done, I'm actually going to turn this over, and we're going to pour over clear embossing powder. I need new embossing powder actually. And then put that aside, tip this back in the container. Now it doesn't matter how careful you are, you're going to always end up with embossing powder somewhere over the place. You think you're being very good, but it does go everywhere. Okay, so I'm just getting this so I don't get it in the ink. Then we'll bring in our heat tool. Now just bear with me, there will be a little bit of noise. I did preheat it before we started, but it may have to be done again. So just bear with me. And this is actually where the magic happens. So just, I need the tweezers, but we'll see what happens. I just do it very slowly, back and forth. And you will have embossing powder flit everywhere. Oops. See the change? And that's it. How pretty is that? And you'll be able to tell whether it's been all embossed because it will be glossy. Okay, I'm just going to move this. And the embossing, the heat tool will tend to buckle your cardstock, and if that's the case, all you have to do is put an ink pad over it or a block over it and let it sit for a little bit, okay? But in this instance, it's not too bad. So we'll bring in our kit again. Before I put it together, I have done another one. Now that's not embossed, and that's 1 inch increments apart, or 2.5, okay? And they're the 1/2 inch, or I think 1/2 inch is about 1.2 centimetres, and this one's embossed, so you can see the difference. Okie dokie. They're both very pretty. So as I said, you can use any colour, any stamp set, any colours, just random. You could even use a solid image, one big image if you wanted to. Okay. Then what we're going to do is stick this to a piece of Night and Navy cardstock. Starting to buckle now, so maybe it would have been a good idea to put it under a block while we I might do that. We'll just put that under an ink pad for the moment, just to stick it down, and we'll do our base card. So the base card is Melon Mambo. So we're just going to burnish along that scored line with a bone folder if you have it, a ruler, or your thumb. Okay, then we're going to do the inside and our envelope. So we'll stamp the same flower, hey? And a couple of leaves. So let's do our flower. Just bear with me. So we'll grab our daisy. It's a pretty set, this. I love daisies, love gerberas, love sunflowers. And our envelope, if I can find it. So we'll put our envelope here. And we might put one on the flap too, eh? Let's do that. Make it pretty, pretty. I'm just going to clean this with the chamois. Then we're going to bring in our granny apple green again. Whoops. And our leaf. And we're just going to stamp our leaf randomly. I didn't. Whoops. Got ink on there. That's okay. And then we'll do this one. And we'll bring in our Night and Navy. And once again, we'll do the centre. One. Two. Three. And we'll clean both these stamps. So they're done. I'll put that away, and we'll stick this to the inside of our card. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to do the outside. So we'll bring in a piece of basic white, and we will grab our our panel that we've done. It doesn't feel like it's being done. Just bear with me. Sorry. When you're embossing, be careful not to hold it in one place too long. I tend to bring it back and forth real slow, and you can see it, the magic happen. Don't hold it here too long in one spot, or you will burn your cardstock. Okay, and I think what we'll do is we'll just stick this to our piece of basic white cardstock. Making sure it's nice and straight. And we're going to put it sort of towards the top a little bit so that it's nice and even along the sides and along the top. Don't worry too much about the bottom section. Okay, so that's that. Then what we're going to do, I did a, I die cut a shape, but I'm thinking it might be too big. This shape is from the Cheerful Daisy dies, but I think it's too big. So we might just stamp straight onto the cardstock. Oh, this will be scary. Sometimes I hate doing this. I'll just bring in the foam mat. Actually, I won't for the moment, just bear with me. I just want to make sure it's nice and straight. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get it straight on your scrap paper and then not. Actually, I might do away with that and see how we go. And when it's for real, sometimes you can't get it straight. Fingers crossed. That'll do. And while we're here, we will stick this to our base card, eh? I love these colours together. Just like that. You could make this shorter, this panel, if you wanted to. It's up to you. And you could make this panel even as well. I've got the little sides down the top and the bottom, but that doesn't worry me. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch, but that doesn't worry me. Okay. Okay. Then what I've done is I pre-die cut a couple of flowers, and I was thinking we might put that there, but now that I'm looking at it, I think they're too big, and I actually pre-stamped the larger flower with Daffodil Delight, and it's been die cut with the dies. Okay, I'm just looking for a die that I did. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and then I did the same with the centre. I've stamped it onto basic white with Night of Navy, and then I cut it out with the matching die. And I'm thinking we might just put that there like that. And I've done the same with some leaves. Just cut back time, that's all. Save a little bit of time. But now that I think about it, I'm going the opposite direction. Where's our scissors? So I'm thinking if we cut this off, just cut around. Just cut around that larger flower. It's easy enough to do. And I think we'll cut around. Cut the leaf off too. Okay, and we might just put that there, but let's do this first. So we need some scrap paper, and we're going to bring in our sponge doppers, and we're going to go for a Daffodil Delight, which is that one there, and we're going to sponge a little bit of colour onto this one, and we'll see how we go. May not work. So all I'm doing is just picking up little bits of the Daffodil Delight and dabbing colour from the middle outwards, because we want that gradient look. And I'm making sure that the colour is a little bit deeper towards the middle than towards the ends of the petals. Okay, so that's done. Then we'll grab a Granny Apple Green one. Granny Apple Green. Yeah. And we'll do our 2 leaves. Where do I hook them to? There they are. And we want Granny Apple Green. Oops. And the same thing. So you can just add as much colour as you like and just build it up slowly. Don't sort of do it all at once. Remember, it's easy to add, then take away. Okay. And we'll just go down here a little bit. Pretty actually, and that's our leaf. As I said, this may not work. So let's bring in our card again. Maybe we should have just done that. Decisions, decisions. And I think that'll be okay. Actually, let's use that, eh? I think that'll be okay once it's all put together. But it's always good to play, because you've got to be sure. If you wanted to, you could have easily maybe just put break up the sentiment and then just added it, you know, sort of in the middle if you wanted to do that. So we're just gonna put that there like that. And then we're just gonna actually might pop these up. I'll just use some smaller ones, the minis. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. Bring in another one. probably only need even a standard one on these, but I'll use the minis. That there. And we'll add another one. I've just cut all my nails so they're a little bit, I'm just adjusting to them at the moment, and we will add another one here. And I think that's, oh, we better add the middle. Now, as I said, I've actually stamped that and die cut it, and we're going to put that on a pop-up too, on a dimensional. And we're going to put that, I never know how these should work, like that. Okay, and I think it probably needs just a little bit something else to bring it to life. So what we'll do is grab some of these Glossy Dots assortments. And we're going to use, I'm thinking we'll use the Melon Mambo, because that'll bring it to the front, and I think it will pop it just that little bit extra. One. That's why I never stick them down. I don't stick them down until I'm sure. 2, and we'll do one right here. There. Okay, so that's our card for today, using the faux, as I've said, I'm calling it the faux glossy tiles technique. That's it with the embossing powder, and that's it without the embossing powder. So same, but it just gives it a little bit of, yeah, a gloss. Okay, now if you wanted the tutorial for this card, as well as the step-by-step tutorial to the technique instructions, all you have to do is spend $20 in my online shop, and you'll be emailed this document as well as the PDF document for the card we did today. Okay, so just $20, and you'll be able to make your own sample and stick it on here in this rectangle, and then stick it into an A5 folder, and you'll gradually have a book of techniques that you can refer back to each time. Okay, eventually they will be going into my PDF tutorial page for sale, and as soon as though I've done 5 with the heat embossing, these will probably go in that page in the next week or so. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, see ya. Hooray.